to another episode of Queen City Unleashed. I am Shea Luciana, and I am so excited to be on the set of Charlotte Today with Mia Atkins, one of the hosts of Charlotte Today. Mia, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I am pumped. This is your setup here is a lot more intricate than anything we will ever get to.
Yeah, it's definitely you walk in here and it's kind of a shock with all the lights and the big set and everything, but we just love it in here.
The only glimpse I've had into TV stations from the morning show.
Okay.
That's it. So,
I love that show, actually.
It's fantastic, but that's all. I don't think I've actually ever been in a TV studio.
Welcome.
So, yeah,
welcome to your first time in a TV studio.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it. So we're going to talk about Charlotte, and we're going to talk about you and things you love to do, and then also your job.
Okay.
So let's start with where you're from. What brought you to Charlotte?
Okay, so I'm originally from the suburbs of Chicago. I grew up about 45 minutes to an hour outside the city.
Oh,
so
neat.
yeah, so I lived there for 18 years, and then
Cold winters.
Yes, very cold winters. I love it here in Charlotte because it was like negative 40 degrees in Chicago during the winters. So.
Yeah, my family's from Michigan, and they moved to
so
Richmond, Virginia from Michigan for the same reason.
Great choice. Yeah, so I lived there, and I wanted the polar opposite, so I went to Arizona State University for school, went to the Walter Cronkite Journalism School, and then I moved to Colorado Springs for 4 years. I got hired 3 days after I graduated to host my own
awesome.
show. Yeah.
Your own show straight out of college.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
really crazy. So, I'm really blessed. I had a lot of experience in college and in high school. I was in a broadcasting academy in high school. But then, I lived in Colorado for 4 years and wanted to upgrade to a bigger market. So started looking around and got hired out here in Charlotte. And I love it. Yeah.
What was your first thoughts of Charlotte when you got here?
So I came from Colorado, so it was a little bit of a culture shock. I actually stepped off the plane to move here, and it was the first time I'd ever been here. Never visited before, accepted the job, and just came.
You didn't come for the interview?
No, it was during COVID, so I did it all on Zoom. Yeah. So I took a big risk, and it paid off because I love it. But it was definitely a culture shock because I never lived in any like in the South or anything really here. So just the way people act, the way you interact, like everything about it, I was like, oh, this is
good or bad, or like you can be honest.
Know. At first, I was like, I don't know about this because I came from Colorado, which is very.
What part of Colorado? Were you in Denver?
Colorado Springs.
Okay.
It's very close to Denver, but very, very different places. So it took me a second to adjust, but I love it here. Like I always said, I'm going to move back to Colorado. It's my favorite place I ever lived. Charlotte's my favorite place I've ever lived by far now. I've fallen in love with it. It took me a second to adjust, but now that I've found my spaces and my people, I don't ever want to leave. I love it here.
Awesome. I'm the same way. I knew I wanted to be in North Carolina. I didn't think I'd love the city I ended up moving to. To me, it was just like, it's a place you live and you find the people. That's what matters. Getting here, I absolutely love this city, and I was surprised. People were like, you're really passionate about Charlotte. I said, I am.
I am too.
It's giving me more than I think I ever could have asked for in a city, and it's southern, but not
too southern.
Yeah, not too southern, and it's got some culture, and I think because we have so many people who move here from other places, I don't think it will ever get too southerny.
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, once you leave Charlotte, get out there a little bit. It gets a little bit more southern.
It's 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah,
real
0
quick.
to 100. But I love it here. I mean, it's amazing.
Okay, so you said you love the people, things. What are you doing for fun?
Oh gosh, I'm pretty outdoorsy, and so I love the Whitewater Center is literally my favorite place to go in town. I'm a big paddleboard girl, so I have an annual pass to the Whitewater Center.
You're out there regularly.
Oh yeah, I like to go most weekends. I mean, I've been so busy, had a lot going on this year, so I haven't gone as much, but love to go out there and be outside and do stuff like that. I love to go get some wine. I'm sorry, that's my hobby. I like to go get a glass of wine.
A wine connoisseur.
A little bit, I just love going and sitting outside, sipping on a glass of wine.
How good are you with your wine? Are you someone who can pick out the region and close to a sommelier, or you're just enjoying it?
Okay, so I wanted to go to like a sommelier class once because I was like, I love wine, and then I just started looking into it, and I was like, that's too much. I'm just gonna drink a lot of wine and enjoy it.
I don't understand how people can take a glass of wine and say, this feels nutty, so it must come from
I like to
this
pretend
region.
like I know that, but no.
I wouldn't even know where to start. People are like, what do you taste in wine? But my friends make fun of me because I'm the complete opposite with bourbon. Bourbon, I can give you flavors and notes in bourbon. I'm like,
Really?
but something about wine,
You're like, I
a
have no
$20
idea.
bottle and a $100 bottle,
Tastes the same to you?
I couldn't tell you the difference.
Oh, I could. See, I can tell the difference between cheap wine and expensive wine, but I can't tell you the region. I can pretend like I know it's nutty or fruity or whatever, but I don't really
And people
know.
who study it, like the test, I've seen details about the test. It's insane to
Oh
like
yeah, that's what
actually
I
pass.
was. I was gonna try and do that, and I said, never mind. I'm not doing all that.
Okay,
studying.
so where are you drinking wine? Or in Charlotte, where are some of your spots?
So, Rosie's Coffee and Wine Garden. Have you been there yet? It's over kind of in Noda, the
Yeah,
Noda
I've
area.
driven past it.
It's a huge, huge wine garden. That is easily my go-to spot.
Huh.
Massive outdoor area to sit. Really nice to go at night too because they have a ton of beautiful
lights.
lights
Oh,
outside. They've got a great wine selection. And then also the Bohemian in Plaza Midwood. I mean, Plaza Midwood is just my favorite neighborhood to hang out in. Yes, we can
Plaza
talk
doesn't
about.
get as much love.
Oh, and I'm here to give Plaza some love. That's my stomping grounds right
Okay.
there. But the Bohemian in Plaza Midwood is just a really nice, cozy spot. They have amazing wine. Their employees are amazing.
Okay.
So those are my two favorite spots to go to get a glass of wine.
Okay, and then restaurants. What are some of your go-to? So it's
so
Wednesday
hard.
night. You've gotten home. You're tired. You just want food that you know is gonna make you happy. First
Yes.
place on your mind.
Yamazaru.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I have to admit I'm not a sushi girl, but I love like from fried rice, the edamame,
Oh,
the miso soup,
okay.
like everything around the sushi, you know? Like
Interesting.
the sushi's off limits, but everything that surrounds it, I'm like, okay, give me that.
Okay.
So I love to go there. That's a great spot. Optimist Hall, of course, is amazing.
yeah.
I can't remember the name of the sandwich shop there, but best sandwich I've
What
had
kind
in
of sandwich?
Charlotte. It's like a turkey club, but it's
I
different.
can see it. I
It's
can see the
different.
place. I was there last
Yes.
week. I can
And
see
the
it, but I don't know the
pickles,
name.
You got to get the pickle. I'm a big pickle
So
girl.
hot take. I hate pickles.
All right, well that's gonna end this
I
interview.
hate, and I mean passionately hate pickles. It's one.
That's a tough one for
I
me.
worked in a fast food chain growing up, and there was like you pick the pickles out and put them on your sandwich, but there was a huge bucket like where you'd have to get all like to refill it. Put my head down there, and I always feel like I was gonna be nauseous immediately. I hate pickles. You put a pickle on my sandwich, I need a whole new sandwich. Like don't even change.
You can give me all your pickles. I love them, and I can't believe I've never heard anyone hate pickles this passionately.
Oh no, it's. I eat when I tell people they're like, "Are you a picky eater?" I eat everything but
pickles. The way that you're passionate about not liking pickles is how passionate I am about loving pickles.
Well,
so
good for you.
We're polar opposites on that one.
So are you grabbing a jar of pickles at the grocery store to go home with?
Yes, and I will eat it as a snack.
That terrifies me. Like that terrifies me. Like I don't know what state of mind I would have to be in personally to do that. I love that for you, but for me, if you wanted to torture me, like if I was kidnapped and they were torturing me, it would be making me eat pickles.
You eat pickles. All right.
That's
well,
how they would get the information.
I'm learning
from
something
me.
new about you. I'm judging you a little bit, but it's okay.
And that's fine. And I've been living this way for a long time, so I can accept it.
Living your truth. It's
Yes.
okay. It's okay.
So Yamazaru is the go-to.
Yes.
If you're looking for girls' night out somewhere like really fun, where would you go?
So again, I'm a Plaza Midwood girl.
Okay.
So we tend to go to Workman's Friend in Plaza Midwood. That's like my favorite place to go.
Huh.
It's so funny because it's like this Irish bar and you wouldn't think, but we love to go
Is
there.
it just the vibe or the
Yeah.
food or all of it
The
together?
vibe is just fun. I think a lot of the people that I know go there. They're espresso martinis. They're espresso
so
martinis.
we're about to get into a whole
Oh yeah, this
thing.
is a whole thing. But the espresso martinis there are amazing. I also go to Vinyl in South End for the espresso martinis, but that's just a great spot to hang out. So
Okay.
those are some good ones. And then, like a good cocktail bar is always great. Idlewild is amazing.
Oh, yeah?
I love that spot.
Noda, right?
Yep, in Noda.
Okay.
Anywhere in Noda really is great. So
I don't. Noda to me at the end of the night doesn't have as many places as I love.
Right.
But like 7 to like 9:30 in Noda, I
Yes.
feel like is prime
but
time
like at
to
night, it's not too late at night.
Yeah. There's not enough happening for me if I'm gonna be
Right.
out because I end up
I
sitting.
mean, obviously
and then,
South End is where you want to go if you're gonna.
or even Uptown. There's some more places
That's
in
true.
Uptown
I
that
don't
I'll
actually
go
go
hang.
to Uptown a lot.
We moved closer up there from South End. So we were in South End. We literally did not leave South End. And then we
Right.
moved and we actually go to more uptown spots. It's a little more, it's a more of a mix of South End, uptown, and then Noda and Plaza get thrown in every
Okay.
once in a while.
Yeah, I'm always in Plaza.
Okay.
It's just more chill. I feel like I'm not like a crazy go out and party kind of girl. I mean, I'll stay out late and have fun, but like at Thomas Street in Plaza or at Workman's Friend, much more chill. Just
A place you can grab a seat.
yes, you can take a seat, but you're also dancing, you're also having fun.
Yep.
So I love it.
So you said espresso martinis. I think around this time, I'm not sure the exact date, is my 1-year anniversary of having my first espresso martini.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
amazing.
You. I was very anti-espresso martinis for the longest time, and I was on a trip with some buddies, and one of them was like, you have to try it. I had 3 that night and was hooked afterwards.
Oh, yeah. They're addicting.
So I'm on the
But
search.
you probably didn't sleep that night because you had 3 espresso martinis.
I actually can drink caffeine and go to bed in 30 minutes.
That's crazy.
So the
Lucky
caffeine,
you.
coffee, Coke, all of it does nothing for me.
Wow.
So if I need to stay awake, I need a sugar rush. It's not the caffeine.
Okay.
I just need like a lot of sugar, and that's what will keep me up.
Interesting.
So I'm on the search for the best espresso martini in
Okay.
Charlotte. Right now, at the top of my list, Coquette in Uptown,
I haven't had theirs.
chilled glass. It's fantastic. And then Vinyl. I finally went to Vinyl,
Vinyl.
for one a couple months ago. Love theirs also. Those are the top 2 for me.
Have you
in
tried
Charlotte.
Workman's Friends
No,
espresso martini?
It looks like I need
that
to go
needs
over
to be
there.
your next stop on the espresso martini tour. Also, another great one, Runaway in Wesley Heights.
They have they
Right
have
by
an espresso martini flight.
Yes, right by Coterie, the yoga
Yeah.
studio. I know that you interviewed her. They have the flight.
Yes, I do enjoy the flight.
Yes.
It's very unique though. There's a
Very
hot
unique.
one.
Yep, they have really interesting ones. They have a new one. It's like a distilled kind of espresso martini where it comes out white instead of the regular color of the espresso martini.
So I need to go back then.
Yeah, you gotta
there
try
was
that.
the hot one, and then the one with orange infused
Yes.
Hennessy
Yes.
was so unique. I said, who thought of this?
I don't know, but I loved it.
Okay, so you've been to Runaway. I do
Yes,
enjoy a
yeah.
cocktail there. Your fancy restaurant, like you're going to ball out.
Steak 48.
Ah.
I've been a couple times.
Ah, okay.
That check does not come back under like $300,
Mm-hmm.
but the steak, it slaps every time. You got to get the corn creme brulee, or I think it's like a corn
the
brulee
dessert?
kind of thing. No, it's like a side.
Oh.
And it's corn, like creamed corn, but they kind of like a creme brulee. They torch the top with sugar.
Steak 40. I'm concerned that it'd be overhyped, but everyone loves it, and so I
No,
think I
it's so
just need
good.
to go ahead. And,
Yeah, if you're ready to ball out, have a little like date night, and just spend a lot of money, go there.
Steak 48. Okay.
And the wine, the cocktails, everything.
I do not think my wife will say no to
I don't think so
balling
either.
out for
and
dinner.
I'm telling you right now, he's taking you.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
All right. Hidden gems. So you've been here for how long?
3.5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the things that you discovered that you feel like maybe are a little underrated or hidden gems of the city that you enjoy?
Well, like we were saying, Plaza Midwood does not get enough hype.
It's true. It's true.
It really doesn't. And granted, if you're looking to bounce around and do a million things in one night, maybe Plaza
It is a little harder.
It is a little bit harder. There's not quite as much, but like you go to the Thirsty Beaver, the little tiny dive bar
Yes.
down the street. Mick Jagger went there when they were in town.
That was so random.
So random.
But also more
But-
random to me that people didn't recognize that it was
He
him.
was just standing outside. I was like,
Unbothered.
What? He's just like, yeah, I'm just having a beer. Like, that's
which was
crazy.
surprising to me. Okay.
Very surprising. But yes, anywhere in Plaza Midway, yeah, Thirsty Beaver, Thomas Street is a great
I haven't
one.
been to Thomas Street.
Yeah, I love Thomas Street is just, I mean, again, it's kind of like a dive bar,
Yeah.
but it's a great place to hang out outside. And I just love hanging out there. Yeah, I don't know. I think those are some spots that people should check out. I'm like,
Okay.
go to Plaza Midwood. It's really great.
Do you think our city has? I try to ask all the guests this because I'm curious. One of the things we're trying to do here is figure out how people define the city. Do we have a signature place or thing to do in Charlotte if you're visiting? Like you're from Chicago, you go to the Bean,
Right.
Empire State Building in New York. What is our thing, or do we have a thing
That's
in Charlotte?
interesting. I mean, I would definitely say, like, when I hear of people having family in town, they go to the Whitewater Center. They like to go check that out. They want to go to Optimist Hall and go to the food hall
Yeah.
and check out all of those things. You know, they might not be the biggest attractions, like you
Yeah.
said, Chicago, or, you know, going to Times Square in New York.
Right.
But I think that I always hear people wanting to go to the Whitewater Center or go and check out Optimist Hall.
I think when we got here, it was probably a year before we went to the Whitewater Center, and I enjoy it. I just think I sometimes get lazy on the weekends driving.
Right.
That if it's more
a
than
little further out.
and it's probably 20 minutes,
It's
25
not even
minutes.
that far, but it feels
right.
far.
But if it's more than 10 minutes on the weekend, I'm kind of like,
I just
don't.
I don't want to do that.
Do you think there's food that, when you think of Charlotte, is there a food item that you think of with our city?
I mean, definitely some barbecue. I think that people talk about that. They go to Mac's Speed Shop or Midwood
Yeah.
Smokehouse and get their barbecue. I think that that's definitely a hot spot for sure. But also, I know this is not like necessarily food, but going to Sycamore too is, I think, a thing.
Okay, yes.
Right?
Especially old Sycamore.
Yes.
The lot and the gravel and everything.
Right. And
I
now
thought
they have
was
their new space.
which is super cool.
Which is amazing. But I mean, everybody's like, all right, well, somebody's in town, let's go to Sycamore and let's hang out there. And every time you go in there, it's like you can barely move because it's so packed.
It's everyone's favorite,
'Cause
which
that's-
is what I loved about the field or the lot, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
is that even if it was packed, you could find a spot to stand
Right.
with your friends and just kind of hang out. But I do love the crowd that Sycamore attracts because it's everyone.
It's everybody.
From straight out of college to parents. To, I've seen grandparents in there.
Right.
Lots of dogs. I think it's a fun spot still to hang out. I do think that's one of the ones we highlight for our friends when they come.
Absolutely. I love that you touched on the dogs too. I have 2 dogs and I'm
Okay.
like dog
What are their
friendly.
names?
Barney and Lily. They're
Okay.
my heart and my soul. I also have a cat. Randomly got a cat a year ago. She showed up outside my house.
How do they all get along?
They actually all get along great. My
Okay.
pit bull and the cat are best friends. They play together. They're like, you know,
That's
like
cute.
tackling each other. My Great Dane is afraid of the cat, but they get along fine. But oh yes, he's terrified of her.
But
And
he's probably 17 times her size.
Oh yeah, and he's a Great Dane mix, so he's not full size, but he's 85 pounds, and she's a runt cat too, so she's really, really tiny. And he looks at her like, "Are you gonna?"
I don't understand that from big dogs. How are they terrified?
Especially Great Danes. Great Danes are little babies. They're scared of everything.
Huh.
It's so funny. I don't understand him, but he's my baby. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like to go to places that are pet friendly.
yeah, I mean, Skip Town is a great spot in town, and it's great because you have to register their vaccines on there. So
Oh, wow,
you're-
that's cool.
You know that every dog
a good
that's there
environment.
is, you know, a safe dog to be around, and they have workers that are there to make sure that all the dogs are getting along. They've got drinks. You can bring food in too, but you got to be careful with the food because
Yes,
the dogs.
because the dogs, I'm
Yes.
sure.
I was just there recently and brought some food in. On all the dogs were swarming the table like, "What you got up
Hey,
there?"
you want to share
Hey,
a little bit?
You want to give me a little bite?
Huh.
But it's a great spot.
Have you done a doggy birthday before?
At Skip Town. It was my dog Barney's birthday.
Really?
I put a birthday hat on him. I got pup cups. A bunch of my friends came to Skip Town to celebrate my dog. Then we all sang to him. I'm a crazy dog mom, a little bit.
You know,
A little bit.
I don't know if I'd say it's crazy because I feel like parents would do the same thing for their human children.
Right.
So I don't know if
Those
that
are
makes
my
you.
children.
I don't know if that makes you crazy. I think it just
No.
makes you committed.
I am committed. And when my mom says, "Where are my grandchildren?" I'm like, "You already have 3.
They have 4 legs.
They have 4 legs, and they're really cute." And
I laugh at that question from our parents' generation because it was so expected of them
right.
to.
I'm like, "Let me live."
Right. Like, we've been married coming up on 5 years. We don't have kids yet. People are like, what are you waiting for? We're traveling.
We're
spending our money on
living our
other
life.
things.
Yes.
Because once they come, and I want to be a dad more than anything.
Right.
But once they come, they're there for at least 18 years. At least.
And yeah, and then for their whole lives, that's something that changes the entire
Forever.
trajectory of your life. So take your time getting there. That's really, I love, this is a passionate
Mm-hmm.
topic I have. I'm like, I want to, I think, I don't know if I want to have kids, but if I do, I want to wait a while. I want to
Yeah.
live my life. When I find my partner, I want to spend time traveling. I want to do all that. I don't want to rush into having babies.
I completely agree. I'm looking at my parents now, and they had me a year and a half after they got married. And now that all of us are out, they're starting to discover things and passions for themselves. I'm like, I understand. And they were great parents, and I appreciate everything they did. But along the way, you can have passions for yourself.
Right.
And if you don't give yourself time as a fully formed adult who has an income. Like not your
Right.
first 2 years out of college, but has an
But
income.
has an income and can actually explore those passions fully.
Yep.
You need to be able to do that before you have kids so that you don't lose all of that while you're raising your children.
Yep.
So
We're enjoying our traveling.
Same page.
Yeah, I think it's a generational
It
thing.
is a
like the younger
generational
millennials
thing.
were kind of like,
Yeah, like,
also
hang
cost
on.
of living. You can't buy a house. It costs so much. Childcare is expensive. So it's not exactly
Yes.
glitzy and glammy like it was before
Right.
you just start a family. We're taking our time.
Absolutely.
Last question about Charlotte. As our city continues to grow and develop, and we are growing very fast, folks like
Very
you and me
fast.
moving here from wherever else, what is one thing that you hope remains in the city as far as like the culture that remains in the fabric of our city?
Yeah. Well, I'm a member of the LGBTQ plus community, and I think that it's a really welcoming city for this community, which I think is really great. And
Also
you know,
unique for the South.
Huh?
Also
Unique for the South.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked at how, I mean, we just had our Pride Festival recently.
Huge.
Huge, massive overtaking of the city. It's really incredible. And it's a really welcoming city. Yes, we don't have a ton of spaces, but I think it's really great how welcoming and amazing that is. And yeah, in the South, it's easy to kind of lose that because it's not always the most welcoming for out of the norm,
Right.
out of the norm things, the way I guess other people would put it. But I just, I love that there's so much culture in the city. I love that it's so welcoming to everybody.
Yeah.
And I just want that to stay. I want it to keep growing. I want more out of that. And I think that, you and I doing things where we talk to all these different
Yeah.
people and bring it to people's attention, I think that that really helps to keep that culture going.
Yeah, for me as a black man moving here, that was something that I had to search out. And
Well, you
it's-
don't know in the South.
Right, and you don't know where your pockets, what's going to be cool, how are you going to be accepted here. And it took some time, but then finding my spots, same way I'm sure you're finding your spots.
Yeah.
When you find them, it just feels so great. And it's the people that come with those spots and the things you get to be involved in.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah,
Just
it
an
makes it really
amazing
special.
city. It's a very special city that I did not think that I was going to fall in love with as much as I have. But I mean, I think it helps that I'm on a show where I meet so many people in our community every single
That's
day
gonna be
that I
so
come
neat.
into work. Like, I'm meeting so many people in our community every single day, learning about what they do, experiencing what they do. It's made me fall in love with this city.
I've done, believe this is my 9th interview. And each person I talk to, the conversation, even though the questions or the conversation might be guided one way, it's always very different. I'm learning something new about the city. And like you said, the people I get to meet, I'm like, I love the city more and more with each
Yes.
episode that we do. So I love being here in Charlotte. And I think having people like yourself on camera every day in front of the people of Charlotte to expose them to the things that they don't know makes a world of difference as
It
we
really
continue
does.
to grow.
And that's something that I have a lot of pride in is that, I show up to work every day. I show up on my social media fully as myself, not holding anything back. I think that's something that some people on TV struggle with a little bit because they're like, oh, well, I want to fit into what the viewers are going to want me
Yeah.
to be. And that's not something that I'm willing to do. Like, if I'm going to be doing this job, it's going to be fully me every single day and every single aspect of it. And so I think that that's really cool because it exposes people, again, like you said,
Yeah.
to things that they might not know about.
I love that you said that. And this is, I mean, we were going to get to this, but you're here now, so I want to keep going there. When you talk about what you bring to the show, I think bringing yourself here is so, like, in everything that you do is so important because it lets people know who you really are and what you stand for. For me, in our podcast, I told you, please don't prep for questions because I like to talk to people and I like to figure out what they're interested in and go from there. But I love that I can just be myself on here. It's not a script. We have to do this. Sometimes I'll say, oh, I want to ask them this, and we never get there, but the conversation ends up incredible, but I get to be myself. And I think
Right.
that that's so important. What was that journey like for you to feel like you could always be your whole self on camera, no matter where it was?
Yeah. I mean, that's a loaded question because it goes so far
Yeah.
back for me, but I think that I truly did spend a lot of my life not being myself. I mean, you talk about the LGBTQ community. I just came out 3 years ago. And
Congrats.
thank you. It's super exciting. But I spent most of my life,
Yeah.
not truly being myself. And so, and even on air before I came out, I felt like there was a part of myself that was hidden. And so I came out. And truly, I mean, people don't talk about this enough about like when you come out as a person in this community, it changes you completely and you realize all these parts of yourself that were missing. And so I came into that, and now when I'm on air, I'm more myself than I ever was before. And it's not just because I'm comfortable with my sexuality, but it's because I accepted a huge part of myself, which made me accept all the other parts that I hadn't really accepted about myself. And so now I'm like, oh, well, I'm the most myself that I've ever been, which means I can bring that more onto the show. I am more comfortable making little jokes and being, I'm a really sassy person. You know what? I've accepted it about myself. I love it about myself. I'm a little bit of a sass. And I let that come out a little bit now because I'm like, I don't need to be ashamed of myself.
Yeah,
like,
it comes with more confidence.
Yes, I'm a more confident person overall in my personal life, which makes me more confident when I'm on camera, which then translates to the viewers so much better that I'm able to be fully myself, which is something that I'm just truly, again, just so proud of.
So what was that time like for you coming out personally? I know is a whole struggle sometimes for people, their friends, family, depending on the community and culture you come from. What was that like professionally on air? Was there a lot of support? Was there a lot of hate? Like, how did you feel going through that?
It was a little tricky. I mean, I will say for the most part, so much love, so much acceptance. But then, of course, again, we're in the South. So you come out, I came out publicly because I felt like that was something that I needed to do based on, I spent my whole life as one way and then I come out as another way. And so I came out really publicly, and a lot of people were like, oh, like, you're just doing this for attention. You're just, you're not actually gay. You're not whatever. And it was like, if you knew what I went through to get to this point, you would not be saying that. Or maybe you would still, but like...
Shame on them.
It really, and so overall, not too bad. But I mean, everybody at work is really accepting. I have a lot of great pride-related segments that I've done on the show. But again, I'll post about them on social media. And somebody's like, stay away from my kids. And I'm like, just because I date girls? What?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
So what are you guys known to kidnap children? Like, where's this coming from?
Apparently, because I date women,
that makes you an unsafe human.
An unsafe person to be around.
There are a lot of things that make this country unsafe.
Oh yeah, I think we have a lot of bigger issues to worry about than the fact that
that's not one of them.
That's not it. I remember seeing that, and I just sat there for a second, like.
So, are you in the comments?
I choose to remove myself unless there's something that I feel like I can touch it on in a way that is controlled. I like I said, I'm a little sassy sometimes.
There's some fire.
Oh, there's some,
I can see it. There's
fire.
some fire.
And a lot of people say that I'm, a very sweet, a very kind person. But if
we all got buttons.
If you push the button, there's a whole different layer under there. And so a lot of times I have to be like, you know what? I'm going to say nothing because I don't know if I can say anything that is going to be acceptable.
And you still need to be a professional too here.
And
so you want to represent your company. Yeah.
But if it was outside of work and I I will say I've had some words with people out in public that have said some things that are homophobic or whatever. I will speak my mind.
Good.
But in a professional setting, I'm staying professional. I'm going to keep it cool, but don't mess with me.
We both have a little bit of that fire. I am, like I said, my family's from Nigeria, and Nigerians are known to be like very sweet, very hospitable. Cross us.
You don't want to
and I am from, my mom is this way. My dad is very much the peacemaker. I got it all from my mother. We are very sweet. We will love you. Cross us, and it's on.
And it's on.
So professionally, there are some moments where
you just have to be like, deep breath.
And then there's some that's like, hey, this is not how this is going to work.
Right.
We're all adults here. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way. And there are moments like that in my life where people will challenge me on things, and I'm like, you don't know me enough, and I'm not the person you want to do the back and forth with because I don't lose. And
that's exactly what I will say to you. I do not lose. If you make me cross that line, You're not going to be.
And if it ends with you in tears, I don't feel bad because you put yourself in
You
this
did
situation.
this.
You crossed me. So, but I'm glad that you're able to be out that way and have gotten the support.
Yeah.
And again, like we were saying earlier, this is the stuff that's going to make Charlotte more welcoming
Right.
with the times.
Absolutely.
When did you first know you wanted to be on TV? You said you were in a club in high school and
Yeah.
studied it in college. So this wasn't I'm in college, I know what I want to do. Now
No,
when did this first start?
So when I went into high school, I was in all 4 years, I was in a broadcasting and film academy, all 4 years of high school.
Whoa, I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's really not a lot of places. I mean, they have little clubs and stuff, but the school district that I was in, each school had an academy. There were a lot of different ones. The one that I wanted to go to was the Broadcasting and Film Academy. I thought I wanted to be an actress or something. You know, I was like, I'm going to be.
There's still time.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's plenty of time.
You know what? Life is, like I've got a lot of time, so maybe I'll get there. But the second I sat down at the anchor desk in high school, I was like, okay,
just knew.
This is what I want to do, and so I did that in high school. And then, of course, I went to the Walter Cronkite Journalism School. That was really great. And then, the passion just kept growing from there. And again, like I said, I did internships in college, and then went straight into it afterwards.
Wow. So you knew you were hustling. I changed my major in college. I was not one of
you?
the people who always knew what I was going to do. So I appreciate people who knew, stuck with it, and then get to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it since I was 15 years old.
That's
so
insane.
I mean, I think that really, truly, I mean, like you said, I got hired 3 days after I graduated college to move to Colorado, start my own show, and host a lifestyle show in Colorado. But I think that's because I had done so much in high school. And then once I went to the journalism school in college, I was working for CBS doing on-air segments on a lifestyle show there, and I was a reporter for PBS in school because PBS was a partner of the Cronkite School, and so one of my classes was being a reporter on TV. And so I just got a jump start.
You were well prepared for that moment.
I was well prepared, and so I worked really, really hard to be able to just get out of college and just hit the ground running.
Good for you. Your favorite story that you've covered so far in your career?
And this is an easy one. If you go to my Instagram page,
it's pinned
you'll
right
see it,
there.
right? You'll see it pinned. The
queen herself.
I got to interview the one and only Dolly Parton. Best day of my life.
What? How did that happen? How?
It was so crazy. So Dollywood is a partner or a client on our show, and I have built a really good relationship with them. I've done a lot of interviews with them, and it was I forget how many years anniversary of her song "I Will Always Love You," and so they were doing a festival for it, and she was doing some interviews, and they reached out and they said that we're not asking a lot of people to come here, but we built a really great relationship with you. We'd love to have you come and interview
Good for you.
her. And I was like,
Good for you.
I don't know what to do. And so I got out there, and I tell people I've gone skydiving twice. That same feeling I had when I was about to jump out of the plane was how I felt when I was about to walk into that room and interview her. And I don't get nervous for interviews. Like I'm used to it, but I was so nervous. And I sat down and I was like, she's any old person, don't freak out. And it was amazing. I had the president of her foundation say that was one of the best interactions that they ever saw with her. She stopped me afterwards and was like, "Are you an actress or a singer?" I was like, "No." See, I might be an actress, but she was like, "I can just tell that you have what it takes to accomplish your dreams, and I just wanted you to know that." And I was like, changed the trajectory of my life. I was like, this is the best day ever. I can accomplish anything I ever want to do ever in my life. Like, this is...
I'd be in a puddle. I'd be in tears.
I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, I'm
She's
a star.
An icon.
She's an icon. I know.
And this early in your career, for her to say that, also speaks to your work ethic. Like, you've been working and grinding to get to that point.
Oh, yeah. So. I've worked really hard to get here. And again, just to have somebody that is that special recognize that in me, I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm golden.
Man, I would be I feel like you just have to think about that moment, and I'd be immediately floating again.
Oh, every time I think about it, I'm like, wow.
Okay,
I can do it.
So I want to ask you, where can people find you? Tell us a little bit quickly about your show and how they can tune in or watch afterwards.
Yeah, so we're a local lifestyle show. Charlotte Today, we're on WCNC, Channel 36, or you can stream us online, WCNC.com. But we're on Monday through Friday at 11 a.m., and we talk all things things happening in the community. We have chefs on. We do cooking segments. We have local wineries come on to talk about, what they have to offer. And we also have nonprofits that come on and talk
neat.
about the things that they need help with and the ways that we can support them. But you can find us online, CLT Today Show on Instagram and on Facebook. And then, of course, you can find me. I'm Mia Atkins TV on all social media. I post all the time about stuff that I'm doing here, stuff that I'm doing in my personal life out in the community.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to be interviewing you guys on our show.
This is going to be nuts.
You're going to be amazing. So you can catch them on the show, but it's just going to be great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for letting us come to your new set and hang out with you.
Yeah, brand new set. You got to view some of the
super
first.
nice. Like, the couch is very comfy.
Yeah, just lay back.
But thank you so much. We appreciate this opportunity. Look forward to bringing you guys more episodes. But for now, this is the end of our show with Mia. Queen City out.